One of the most common mistakes I see alienated grandparents make online is posting about your alienation experience or the alienators themselves in an unknowingly public or exploitable way. A lot of times I see on Facebook and some other social media sites, alienated grandparents will be venting about their experience with others, and they might not realize that in the platform that they're using, that those posts can easily be shared, or might, just because of the algorithm itself, appear right directly in front of the alienator. And when that happens, it often results in a worsening of the situation, because the alienator will use that against the grandparent. And in other ways, it can be a less direct route. Perhaps it's a family member or friend you didn't realize they were going to see the comment that you made on a certain post, and then they share it on, or they pass it on to the person who is alienating you, and then all of a sudden that person again uses that against you, and makes the situation worse. So that's one of the things I always advise grandparents, is to make sure you're checking your privacy settings in your profiles for every one of your social media platforms. Make sure that when you're posting something, one, it's something that you're okay that it be shared, that it could be something that might end up in front of the person who's alienating you. And then for extra measure, I just really recommend that alienated grandparents make their posts private as much as possible. So that's one thing I would say is really important, is just make sure you double check your privacy settings. Make sure every time you post something, I just go through the exercise, and what I recommend is just pretend like every time you're posting, whether you think it's private or not, that it's going to end up in front of the person who is alienating you. So that's one thing I think will really help you, is just to always keep that in the back of your mind, because what you post digitally, it can easily end up in front of that person. There are ways to easily take screenshots. So another person who has access to your profile, maybe they're a friend or a relative, they see you post something, they take a screenshot, and then they share it on to the person who's alienating you. It just ends up being a bad situation. So be cautious about that. Related to that mistake, another mistake I see that alienated grandparents make is they join an online alienation support group without first evaluating its integrity. Especially on Facebook, there are a lot of alienation groups that alienated grandparents can join. And some of them are public, and some of them are private. And that's the first area you should be looking. And it says right when you're ready to join it in the details of the group, whether it is a public group or a private group. Do not join the public groups. I'm telling you, every time when you join a public group, one, anyone who follows you, they can tell that you joined a public group. And also your posts get shared publicly as well. It's more easily for whatever you post in there to be shared potentially with the person who is alienating you.